What is your relationship with time? Are you wired and tired, stressed and overwhelmed, busy and going nowhere? Or just want to scale your business? Welcome to Take Back Time with your host, Penny Zenker. Penny focuses on books, strategies, tools, and tips to help you work smarter and approach your time more strategically. As a result, you can have more energy, focus, and get more done in less time. Be more efficient and effective. Get ready to take back time.
Hello, and welcome to Take Back Time. We are live with Chris Salem today. He is a prosperity strategist. He's going to tell us more about that in a minute. And today on Take Back Time, we're going to talk about how to overcome limiting beliefs so that we can reach peak performance. So Chris and I go way back, and I just love him. We have so much in common in the way that we think about things, so we just let our conversation free flow here. Chris is so authentic, and he really has a passion for empowering and serving business leaders, entrepreneurs across industries, sales executive, coaches, authors, speakers, you name it. And he likes to help them take their business to the next level. For many years, Chris has been seeing people aspiring to make changes and they want to grow, but they struggle. And they're looking for maybe a new career or just something new in their life. And he's just like you. He's a regular person, and he's talked about how he's faced similar struggles. And the key of what he helps people to do, and he's going to tell us more about this, he helps people to get to the root cause of what's keeping them from the very success that they want to achieve. And I have a stinking little feeling that it must have something to do with limiting beliefs, and that's why we're talking about that today. Chris, welcome to the show.
Penny, it's a pleasure to be here. And you've been on my show, and you threw out some great nuggets of wisdom when it comes to productivity, performance, and pleasure to be here today.
And I know we're going to get a lot of great nuggets on this show as well. So if you're listening to this, you might want to listen again or listen with a pen and paper because you don't want to miss some of these nuggets that are coming up. So Chris, tell people, what is a prosperity strategist? So that's your title there. What does that mean? What is that?
So what prosperity means is experiencing life and business based upon your purpose in life, whatever that means to you. But when it comes to experiencing true prosperity, it's like a balancing act. There's no such thing as perfect balance. But in order to have sustainability in your business, you have to have, obviously, your wellness in check. When we talk about wellness, we look at the 8 pillars of wellness: your emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, occupational wellness, financial wellness. There's physical wellness, intellectual wellness, and so forth. When you put your wellness first and you have that in alignment with your wealth principles, which could be your business, making money, saving money, having more time to do the things you love, and spending time with your relationships that matter, you could then experience true prosperity. So again, as a strategist, my goal is to work with individuals and companies in determining what holds them back for achieving their full potential and living a life and operating a business at the next level.
Absolutely. That's what we all want. I read a book once, The Stuff That Americans Are Made Of, and we just want to get to the next level. Like, that is so American, to be bigger, to want more. And I don't know if that's just American or in general human nature. I think it was Tony Robbins who said, if we're not growing, we're dying, right? We're totally searching that. So we're going to talk about limiting beliefs and overcoming limiting beliefs. We could talk for hours and hours on this topic.
Sure.
So how does our limiting beliefs limit our performance?
Well, a lot of times, again, limited beliefs are in the subconscious mindset. Sometimes people may be aware of what might hold them back, but a lot of times they just are aware they're not where they want to be. They could be struggling, or they could be doing well, but they're just not where they think they should be at this point in time. So being aware is really important because it lets you know that wherever you are, there could be limited beliefs subconsciously holding you back or preventing you from going to the next level. And limited beliefs are powerful. A lot of people don't really understand what they are, but they do have a tremendous impact negatively on holding you back, whatever's important to you, whether that's in business, and then also things important in your personal life with your wellness and your relationships.
You know what I find to be the interesting paradox there is that the very things that we want are the very things that we sabotage ourselves and hold ourselves back from getting, right? It's like,
absolutely.
So You said that some people know and some people don't know. How does it show up? Like, how do I know that I might have some limiting beliefs?
So what happens is a limited belief or beliefs is often also tied to one or more negative emotions. So the most common negative emotion that's aligned to
for a second.
What's
so
that?
I just want to say, I want to reframe that a little bit, that they're not negative emotions, they're unproductive emotions.
Unproductive,
right?
There you go. I'll use that. So the unproductive emotions would be like anger. Anger is very common, especially for men, but also women experience anger. And it could also, with women, it could be tied to shame and guilt as well. They could kind of go hand in hand. What happens is, with that, is that without us being consciously aware, we put ourselves into situations where we'll re-experience that feeling over and over again. So I'll give you an example. Before I went through this process of eliminating my limited beliefs 20 years ago, I would always pick business associates, bosses, or I get into businesses that would end up reinforcing the experience for me to deal with anger.
Right,
and
to
while
over and over again, right? That is the ultimate insanity, right? And there are people...
Ultimate insanity. And I would blame the world. I'd say, why is the universe doing this to me? It's everyone else's fault, not mine. But see, I was creating it on many levels. Life does happen. Business happens, but we play a role in it. Our energy, which is in the subconscious mindset, what people are not aware of. That's where the limited beliefs have that tremendous hold of that unproductive impact on your true ability.
Absolutely. So for people listening, just to write down or to think about that, if you can just recognize when you're having any of those unproductive emotions, anger, sadness, hurt, fear, guilt, shame, those are indicators that something is not right. And you can sit in it and accept it and wallow it and let it last longer. I mean, they're important for us to feel, but someone said they hope you're not driving.
No, I'm not. I'm parked. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on you right now if I were driving. No,
good. I just wanted to set that straight for the people.
By the way, just to let listeners, I am on my way to the airport to go speak at an event in Reno, but I'm parked. I'm safe. Everything's fine.
Good. So we want to just be aware. The sooner that we can be aware that we're in this unproductive emotion and understand what it's telling us, as opposed to repeating it and allowing it to fester and feeding it, right? A lot of people feed it. So you want to break that down. Let's talk about that. How do I overcome this limiting belief that I have to come up through these unproductive emotions?
Well, the first step is being aware of where you're not, where you don't want to be. So that's really important, that you understand that you want to be somewhere else, but being aware of where you are right now. You don't need to know what the limited belief is yet, but just the first step is to be aware. Next, you want to be able to accept where you are now. And instead of just focusing on the desired outcome that you seek, I mean, obviously it's important, but instead of putting all the energy and focus on what you want to become itself, commit to the process. Now, what is the process? I'm going to talk about that right now, but when you embrace and commit to the process that will yield the outcome you desire, you're more likely to overcome that limited belief to move forward within the solution. So awareness, acceptance, commitment to the process, and the process works like this. It could be like something where you may have certain habits and disciplines that are not yet established. Or you may have some good habits and disciplines in place, but they're not being done consistently, or they're not congruently working together to yield the outcome that you desire. So I'll give you an example of what I do. I will wake up early in the morning about 4:30. I've been doing that for a long time. Wake up at 4:30 East Coast time, and I will make my bed. People ask me, why do I make my bed? I don't make my bed because I'm a neat freak. A lot of times my wife is right next to me, and but I make it because it gets my mind in focus that I'm going to accomplish something today. And so just something little like that can really help. Next, I meditate for 20 minutes. So I've learned how to be in the moment for most of the day. So meditating every day will teach you how to be in the moment rather than in the past and the future that most people operate their lives in simultaneously. That's managing the problem. The solution is being present. Now, by being present, after my meditation, I will journal. And I won't overanalyze or overthink what I'm going to write. Whatever comes out of my head through my arm onto the paper is what it'll be. It could be one word. It could be 2 pages. I'm going to put down what comes to mind and how I feel at that point. What that allows me to do over time is to look at myself from a third-party perspective. Like if I was looking at myself as somebody else. We could always provide great advice and opinions to people, but we could never do it for ourselves. This is a way to give yourself the right advice to see where certain things that you're doing are not working for you, and it really resonates in what you have to do to overcome that. Now, when you get into the rhythm of meditation and journaling, what that's going to do is it's eventually going to get the subconscious mindset talking to the conscious mindset. So it becomes an alignment, being in the moment. So little things that you may have suppressed in your memory bank will come to the surface and be able to indicate where these limited beliefs are, where the anger stems from to the root cause of those limited beliefs. The shame, the guilt, the jealousy, the envy, or any combination thereof. If you like, Penny, I could give you a story that from a business perspective that with one of my clients that may resonate where this might make sense.
Sure. Let's hear it.
So let me point this out. I had a guy that I coached last year that was a software sales professional, and he was very successful. He was a multi-six-figure earner in his business. He was married with 2 kids. They had a wonderful life, which appeared what he gave me. He came from a wonderful family, so he didn't really have anything traumatic in his background. He had a really pretty normal life, and he had a lot of success throughout his high school years, college years, in his profession. However, he felt that he really wasn't where he wanted to be professionally in his sales career, which I found hard to believe because I was saying, God, you got pretty much everything going for you. How could I really help you here? So he goes, I want to get to the next level. I've been able to accomplish doing 6-figure deals, but I can't close a 7-figure deal. And he couldn't find out why. He had no idea. Every time he would be in a situation to do a 7-figure deal, it would never come to fruition. So we began to kind of go through this process, the meditation, the journaling, the organizational habit done daily, some other things that I had him doing as well. In time, I remember him telling me, he goes, you know what? I didn't remember this, but I remember my dad when I was young, and I had a great relationship with him. He was always my biggest fan, always out there at my ball games, supporting me. But he would always be behind the backstop, critiquing me to make sure that I was holding the bat up right. I had my head down. My feet were shoulder width so that I had my eye on the ball. But unfortunately, I had success with most of my life. But in that situation, when I was playing baseball at 9 to 10 years old, every time I was in a position to advance the runners or perhaps win a game for my team, I would strike out, ground out, and I did not obviously have success. I asked him, where did that come from? He goes, I don't know. I didn't even recall it until it just came to my mind through a meditation and a journal that I did. And I said, well, see, there you go. It starts to leak out this information. So what we ended up doing is he ended up finding out that he had passive anger towards his father. He had a great relationship. His dad was wonderful. It wasn't that his dad did anything bad. He just internalized it in a way that worked against him. So what happened here was every time he would be in a situation to do a 7-figure deal, for some reason in his brain, in his mindset, he became that 9 or 10-year-old kid again at bat, and he would strike out. Not at the 6-figure deal, but the 7-figure deal. Until he was able to acknowledge the root cause to his limited belief that he couldn't do a 7-figure deal, and it was tied to his father with passive anger. Once he truly forgave, so now we have awareness, we have acceptance, now it's to forgive. By forgiving the source, his father, for this limited belief that was established from this experience he had playing baseball, he was able then to not only forgive for his father, but for himself, and to truly release that out of his system. Because he would only experience passive anger when he was mainly in those types of situations where he wasn't able to accomplish something. And that all went back to his father. Once he was able to go through this process, we were able to tweak some of the habits and disciplines that he already had in place and add on to it. So in time, he was able to move forward in the solution rather than this small problem that he had with this limited belief. And in 4 months, he did his first 7-figure deal. So a lot of time, people don't realize how powerful it can be. Something very subtle like this can have a tremendous impact on what you do every day in your business and your personal life. Now, some people have even traumatic experiences. They know what, I had a bad upbringing. I was verbally abused, physically abused. So they know on some level that has a part. But unless that's addressed, you can't have true sustainable success at the next level by
Distractions are the enemy of productivity. Go to distractionquiz.com and find out your distraction profile. Are you a time zombie or a hamster? Take this free distraction quiz today to rate your ability to focus on what keeps you from being a wizard. Go to distractionquiz.com.
Operating, managing the problem.
Right, because it's going to come up. We are designed to work through these things. That's part of our journey. People
Absolutely.
have really great comments. Forgiveness is key. The only time that you should look down on someone is when you're helping them up. Forgiveness is so important. And I think you said this, if not for the person that you're forgiving, but more so for yourself. Because
Absolutely.
Right? And the reason we keep repeating situations over and over again is because we haven't gotten the lesson. I'm a firm believer that if we continue to experience the same thing, it's because we haven't gotten the lesson, we haven't applied it, and we haven't forgiven and accepted, right? Gone through that process that you were talking about.
Absolutely, Penny. I think that we recreate these experiences, so it's a way to kind of say, do you get it? Do you get it? Now let's do something to change it, because nothing changes until you change it, and change is a process. So the process works both ways. The process can take some time to address the problem, but also the solution is also within the process. And when you focus on the process within the solution, by incorporating the right types of habits and disciplines that will reinforce that, in time you're able to have more success achieving what you desire to go after, whether that's growing your business, taking that to another revenue level or an income level, or you're looking to make a difference in your community, you want to improve the quality of your relationships, you want to have better wellness for yourself, maybe you're overweight, now you want to drop 50 pounds. All of it really ties back to a lot of this stuff. And again, we have a choice. We have the choice of managing the problem or operating within the solution. And this is where I just want to create the awareness that you have that choice and you can operate within the solution. You just have to address the problem first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to go back to earlier, you had said that sometimes when we get into those unproductive emotions and repeating these situations, we're kind of in the blame game and playing that, oh, it's the circumstance, it's this person's fault, and so forth. And I know that when we have these limiting beliefs and these unproductive emotions, that we're limiting our potential. And a lot of times we will reinforce that and feed that with this blame and make it bigger because we're looking for reasons why it is so. And something that I sometimes have people to shift their mindset in that is, and I'd like to get your opinion on this, is instead of saying why this is so and finding reasons why they're making themselves right, is to say, well, that's bullshit because. And then look at the other side, like shift your perspective and prove all the reasons why what you're telling yourself is not true. Because
Absolutely. That's what I call the inner critic, because the inner critic is always going to tell you things that you think are really true about you, but they're not. And the inner critic is very charming. It doesn't matter what personality you are, if you're an introvert, an extrovert, does not matter on the outside. But your inner critic is always very charming. It can be very convincing to let you know who you are when in reality, that's not who you are. You have the choice to whether to listen to the inner critic or not. But the key is you can gain control over that by resolving the root cause to the source that creates those limited beliefs.
Absolutely. Coming back to the blaming again, because so many people are in that space, right? How does using these excuses and the blame make us the victim? How does that get us out of having to solve the problem?
Well, I think, like I said, it's always easy to come up with excuses or to blame somebody else. When they're angry or frustrated, it's just a way they can just let that out. They're trying to express themselves to try to relieve the stress and the pain of the emotion or the unproductive emotion that they're experiencing. But instead of doing that, because that's just energy that's being wasted, is to own and take ownership and be responsible for your unproductive emotions. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean that you're not as good as the other person. Everybody goes through this experience on various levels throughout their life and throughout their business career.
But when they make themselves, just to interrupt there for a second, so when they make themselves the victim, they're taking away their power. Where we have our
Absolutely. Absolutely. So transparency is really important. Transparency is originally looked at upon as a weakness, when in reality, it's actually a strength. That's why you're seeing a lot of leadership methodologies shifting towards transparent leadership, than from traditional leadership. It's being accountable. It's being vulnerable. It's letting people know that you're a human. Yes, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I'm always striving to become my better self and to become better in my business by always looking for areas that I can improve upon and come from my authentic self rather than my false self.
Absolutely. So we're coming down to the end of the show. So is there any last parting words that you'd like to leave the listeners with?
Yeah, I would just say that stop beating yourself up. You might be in a good place in one area, not a good place in another, and that's fine. Or maybe you've had some success in your business and you want to take it to the next level. Just accept where you are and just be aware there is a process that can get you to where you want to be. You got to own it. You got to commit to it, and you got to do the work. No one is going to be able to do it for you. There are great consultants and strategists and consultants like Penny where we're going to be able to guide you to get you to where you want to be. But in itself, we can't make you do something. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. You got to take ownership of that. So if you're looking to take yourself into a better situation, you just got to be open to good guidance and just making the commitment to the process to make it work.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for being here. We've had some great comments. I just want to highlight some of the things. So, Anthony, thanks you've given us a lot of comments here. Embrace failure. It's a learning opportunity. Absolutely, right? It's part of the process of the journey is to misstep and then make correction, adapt. Let's see, what else do we have in here before we sign off? Forgiveness is key. Always be humble and kind. And I think earlier there was a question about, is it more important for you to believe in yourself, or do you have to have other people believe in you?
It's always more important to believe in yourself. Don't get me wrong. If you believe in yourself, you'll always have the right people that are going to be around you that believe in you. And the people that don't are not going to matter because you're not giving them power no longer to have control over you. And this goes to anything. It could be in your personal life or in your business. Even when you're starting this process, if you don't believe in yourself, it's okay. Just commit to the process, because in time, this process will lead you to believing in yourself, because that's all you got is to believe in yourself. The people that will support you and believe in you will do that on a much higher level when they sense from an energy level that you really believe in yourself.
Absolutely. Believing in yourself means, like you said, also accepting that we're not perfect. Believing in yourself doesn't mean believing in perfection. It means believing that you have the potential to change, that anything that's learned can be unlearned and that can be molded and changed, just like we're changing every day. So
Absolutely.
Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Penny, thank you. It was a pleasure to do this, and I'm glad it was able to work out. So this spot worked out perfectly.
Good luck on your trip. And for all of those of you who are listening, there were a couple of great nuggets in here that you can take away in the practices that you can do in the morning. Remember, this is all about taking back time. And so that means that by meditating in the morning, by using certain habits and disciplines that are going to work in your favor to help support you, it means that you're investing time in yourself. And that time that you invest in yourself is going to open up your potential. It's going to open up your peak performance. And also the questions that you ask yourself and how you perceive something, and also in that acceptance of where you are and getting clear on where it is that you want to be. So those are things, all great things that are going to help you to invest in yourself, to take back time. My name is Penny Zenker, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening. Today's topic is another opportunity for you to put the knowledge you learned into practice. Tune in again next week for more strategies that will help you have more energy and focus to get more done in less time, so you can continue to take back time.